Hey y'all, for Foodie Friday, I'm gonna be making our good gravy chicken in our Ninja Foodi. All while having a whole lot of fun.
That's so good I can't see straight.
Hey y'all, welcome back to another Foodie Friday here, brought to you by ReaderRecipes.crock.com, my beautiful wife's cooking blog. And today we're gonna finish out a good gravy week, because earlier in the week you had Aunt Lou making the good gravy pork chops. Today I'm gonna be making our good gravy chicken in our Ninja Foodi to show you how simple it is, how easy it is, and how good it is. And what you're gonna need for this recipe, simply a chicken, a bucket of chicken that is. These are chicken thighs, and they fit conveniently in the little bowl that goes in our Foodi. That bag of chicken right there, 2.5 pounds I think it is, fits perfectly in the bowl, and that's what you need to do. Or some metal bowl that will fit down in your Ninja Foodi. You're also going to need, along with the Foodi, is the trivet that goes with the Foodi down in there. And then the chicken will eventually go on top of the trivet, and it just fits, but it does fit just fine. Along with your chicken, let me grab a spatula. Here we go. Along with the chicken, you're going to need a couple soups. We have golden mushroom, beefy mushroom works as well. This is golden mushroom, which is a mushroom soup made with a beef stock, so that works perfect. You also need a can of cream of mushroom soup. You want to have a ranch packet seasoning mix, an au jus gravy packet mix. So it's kind of be like Mississippi chicken, only a little bit different flavor. You also want to have a 1/4 cup of chicken broth, a cup of water separate, and then also some slices of pepper jack cheese. Now, the reason we're going to do this in this small bowl instead of just in the insert here is because we're not going for a soup. If you want to make it soupy, put it all together in the bottom of just your insert in your Foodi. I don't want it to be soupy. We want this to be more meaty, because there's going to be a broth that forms with the juices of the chicken along with the chicken broth and then the soups and everything, but we don't want it to be watery. However, because we're using our 8-quart here, and the fact that we want this to come up to pressure, a 1/4 cup is not going to be enough. So what we're going to do is the chicken goes in the bowl. We're going to put our seasonings and our broth together with the chicken, and then the cup of water, which I've got right here, goes down in the Foodi. The bowl is going to sit on top of the trivet. That way you can still build that pressure up using the water plus everything that's inside with the chicken, yet it's not going to make everything soupy at the end. So we got our chicken going on here. Next thing I want to do is I want to pop on our soups. So there's our golden mushroom right on top of the chicken. And golden mushroom soup smells really good. Really, really good. And I cleaned that straight up. That's good. Because as Mama, my mother-in-law, Chris's mom, says, you don't want to waste your soups. Now the golden mushroom comes right out. This one here, I'm probably going to have to use my chicken broth in order to clean out my can. You want to kind of get that all around your chicken there. And I don't know, this will come out pretty clean too, but just to make sure and to make Mama happy, I'm going to take about a 1/4 cup of chicken broth, right about there, and just kind of clean out my can. That'll work. And I'll also add some more chicken flavor in there, so it's not just competing with all those beef flavors from the golden mushroom soup, as well as my au jus gravy, which my au jus gravy goes right over the top of my chicken and my soups. It's hard to do one-handed, one wants to stay in there. Alright, and then let's see if I can get that cleaned off and sit over. I should have probably had some kind of a bowl or plate or something to get rid of this. We'll do that. And then my ranch packet right over the top of that. Voila. And then the last thing I want to do is I want to take pepper jack cheese. How much pepper jack cheese, Mikey? I don't know. It all depends on how much you can put over the top of your chicken. You can also use some of this later, depending on how creamy, how thick you want to get your chicken in the end. If you want it to be a lot creamier, you use more pepper jack cheese in the end. What I'm going to do is just layer it on top until I get all my chicken covered. Like that. So there's 2 pieces. There's 3. I pulled out 5, so I'm going to use 5. Put that one right there. And that covers the chicken. And then the last piece there. Everything is completely covered. I'll even come show you. I'm not scared to do this. See, it's all completely covered by the cheese right there. You got all your seasonings down on top of your chicken. We've got that trivet right here set inside. I'm going to take my bowl and set it down right on top of the trivet. Y'all can see that. Make sure the handle's down, that way everything fits. And then I'm going to put my lid on top and see, it all fits. Make sure it's set to seal, which it is. So what I want to do here is I want to cook this on high pressure for 15 minutes. That means it's going to take it a little bit to come up to pressure. That's why you added that water, so it'll come up to pressure quicker. It's going to hold that pressure and that heat for 15 minutes, and then it's just going to shut off. That's why we shut off the stay warm feature. And then after that 15 minutes, we're going to let it naturally release, which means that pressure will come down on its own, and then we'll flip the vent after 15 minutes, stir it up, and eat it, because that's what I'm really here to do. And we'll let that happen in 3, 2, 1. All right, time's up, but before we go to eat something, I gotta tell you a story. You see, I used frozen, where Aunt Lou, when she made this recipe, she used fresh chicken. So from frozen, it is gonna take more than 15 minutes, and that's because we're not putting it down in that water, in that liquid. Not everything's together. Everything that we have in there is condensed in one small bowl, so it's gonna take it a lot longer for that to cook, more than 15 minutes. So what I did is I let it go for the 15 minutes. I let it come down off pressure for 15 minutes. I opened it up to check my work and went, oh no, that chicken's not done. So I put it under pressure for another 10 minutes, and this is what we got. That is what it looks like now. Now I already did a little stirring because there's a little bit of cheese on top, but if you stir that up, it lets that cheese mix down into the rest of the juices there. And that is separating it away from that half a cup of water, or that full cup of water that we put in there that you need to make it into pressure. And the one thing I wanted to double check is I want to double check and make sure that my chicken is done. It might be a little difficult here, so I'm going to have to put her on a plate, but that smells amazing. But I do want to check and make sure that chicken's done. So I'm going to grab me a plate and I'm going to grab me a piece of this chicken and double check that to make sure it's good. It smells amazing and it looks really good. But I have a couple forks here I can use, and I just want to pull the thicker piece of this thigh apart, and just to make sure that there's no pink in there, and it's not. In fact, with 2 forks, that shreds up really, really easy. It smells great. Let me grab a small sliver of this and taste test it, because even though it smells good and it looks good, we got to make sure it tastes good. Oh yeah. Okay. We're in business now, man. But I don't just want to throw that on a plate. I'm actually making myself a late lunch today. And if I'm going to eat good gravy anything, whether it be beef or turkey or chicken or pork, I'm going to make it into a meal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make me a good gravy Manhattan. I'm just going to take that chicken thigh that I was testing out there, place it on a piece of bread like I was making me a sandwich. Oh look, there's room for a little bit more chicken. Whatever shall I do? I'm going to take a little bit of chicken and I'll give her a little shred there, just a little. And then take my other piece of bread right on top. Normally, when I was growing up making a Manhattan, it was on Wonder Bread because that's what my mama used. But I just so happened to stop by the H-E-B. And y'all know in Texas, I love to go to the H-E-B. It's like the best grocery store in the world. And they have some Asiago cheese bread. And usually you have that to dip sop, like you would dip the sop of this gravy or whatever. But it makes from some amazing sandwiches too. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to go at a diagonal, because I think everything looks cuter, better looking being cut from a diagonal. And I'm going to separate that to the side, just like that. Open me up a space, because if I'm going to have a Manhattan, you can't have a Manhattan without mashed taters. So I got me some of these fancy Boba Vaughn's taters. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. Really, it's just Bob Evans. And I got them all heated up and ready to go in the microwave. I'm just going to give them a stir. Oh yeah. And that's going to go right in the middle of my chicken and bread. And you got to make yourself a little swimming pool for your gravy. So now I'm going to grab a ladle. I'm going to dirty up all the dishes. Because rule around here is whoever does the videos doesn't have to do the dishes. Again, that's another rule that Cris is not aware of, but I'm hoping that she goes ahead and follows through with it. And I'm going to take that, go right over my mashed taters, and of course a little bit on that side, and cover the bread on that side. And I don't think any dinner's complete unless you have at least one more side. So I'll grab one more spoon, a slotted spoon. This one will work right here. Because when you have a Manhattan of any kind, you want to have either corn or green beans, and we just so happen to have ourselves some green beans in the pantry. And that goes to the side, and all that is just simply some butter and some salt and pepper. And heat them green beans through, and of course I'm a green bean fanatic, so I'm going to take a big portion of green beans. And then you come up there and I make all y'all jealous. Because I'm telling you right now, this is going to be one heck of a great late lunch, early dinner, whatever you want. I don't care. I'd eat this for breakfast, I bet. I'm going to get me a little bit of that Asiago bread that is soaking up all that gravy. There's a good bite of chicken. And go right through the taters with it. Oh, look, a couple green beans hung on.
That's so good I can't see straight. That is home cooking. That takes 25 minutes if you do frozen, or 15 minutes under pressure if you do fresh chicken. Again, if you want to use chicken breasts, you can. I go maybe a little bit longer with the chicken breasts. But for chicken thighs, which you know is our family favorite, with those ingredients, I don't need to put any salt on this at all on the chicken, because between the au jus packet and the ranch packet and the two soups, you've got enough seasoning in there. And y'all, that's dinner. That took no time at all, barely any effort. A little help from Bob Evans and the Jolly Green Giant, and some unnamed chicken. But I tell you what, that chicken's amazing. Y'all are gonna love this. And this is what we call good gravy chicken. Now if you want to change it up just a little bit and call it Goode gravy chicken like we do around here, just have me stick my finger in your gravy. Maybe you don't do that, but I can. If y'all like what you're seeing, make sure you're giving us a like down below. Give us that thumbs up. If you have not become a member of the Crock Posse, make sure you click the subscribe button down below. And if you want to know as soon as we put up a new video, click the ding-a-ling. That lets YouTube know you want to see them as soon as we put them out. The most important thing, though, is y'all need to make sure that you laugh often, eat good food, and speak life. Bye, y'all. I love my job. Okay, time's up and it's ready to eat. That's all, folks.
If you want to see the latest, click on the left right here. If you feel like subscribing, click on the right, my dear. And if you think we're funny enough to send us money, click the Patreon link below.